Alistair Fraser, number 17, Greg Pryor, and number 20, Kieran Achara. For the Eagles, it's number 4, Jeremy Smith, number 13, Darius Defoe, number 22, Jamal Williams, number 23, Kai Williams, and number 44, Ramon Fletcher. And it was the Eagles that win the tip, and it's Jamal Williams who goes to the basket and floats in the first 2 points of the game. Nice move by Jamal to get to the basket. Walks back on, come back here. Achara lobs it in towards Fraser, but Fraser can't gather that up. Jeremy Smith picks up the loose ball, and he's going to drive all the way to the basket as well. The left-handed layup goes in, and that's Eagles off to a very quick 4-0 start.
I think the last offence, the Glasgow Rocks there took a cheer high and sent Fraser. I think we might see a lot of the high-low. The last time I saw Ali Fraser play was against, I think it was London Lions last year for the Glasgow Rocks. He's very, very, very effective around the basket.
One of the better finishers in the league around the basket. Here's Jamal for 3, just off. Kieran Achara missed at the other end, but it was good defence by Jamal Williams. There's Jamal Williams this time on Alistair Fraser, but Alistair Fraser gets away from him. Fraser lays it in for 2, and that's the Rocks off and running as well. Eagles with a 4-2 lead. There's Fletcher going, driving into the paint. Great pass off to Darius Defoe. There's the first assist for Ramon Fletcher, and a great basket by Darius Defoe. 6-2 Eagles.
Yeah, good cut because Achara was trying to help out, and he just lost sight of Darius. But you're talking about, your point about Fraser, he's really effective inside. That last offence showed why. Great steps to the basket and a really good finish.
Yeah, it's a good finish as well by Njai, Bruno Njai, who's been very impressive this season for Glasgow. He blew past Jamal Williams and laid it in for 2, and it's back to a 2-point game. Kai Williams in the corner, he finds Defoe. Defoe twisting and turning, and I think that'll be a foul on Fraser. It is, yep. First foul of the game.
Now, am I right in thinking that was it either Njai or Runkinkis who joined the team later in the season and made a bit of pretty good impact when he first joined? Yeah. October, November time maybe? Yeah,
it's Rinkunis who joined later. Yeah, and I think at the time Glasgow was certainly looking for another player. Rinkunis has come in, and not only has he come in, he's actually taken over the captaincy as well, Dave. Kieran Achara stepping down from the captaincy to concentrating on playing a bit more. And Rinkunis on the bench at the moment. Darius Defoe on the free throw line, and he knocks the first one down. Big weight on Defoe's shoulders, obviously with Moses out, but he doesn't show any nerves or worries there as he knocks both of his free throws down and doubles the Eagles' lead to 8-4. There's Njai almost travelled there, but gets it away to Pryor. Pryor trying to set things up. There's the high-low this time, it's Fraser to Achara, and Achara this time lays it in for 2.
I think when you think about it, Manchester have been here twice in the last 3 weeks and played an awful lot of high-low situations with Willie Clayton and the Lithuanian, and you've got exactly the same thing happening here.
At the other end, Fletcher's pass found Defoe, and he knocked down the 2-point shot from about 10 foot. Eagles 10-6. Nice play by Kenny Carpenter getting round Jeremy Smith. And Njai back to Fraser. Long way out for Fraser. Battles in against Darius Defoe. Left-handed hook shot. That rolls in. Fletcher, long ball to Smith. Smith gets trapped up, but he gets it back to Fletcher. Fletcher thought about the 3. Nice hands from Greg Pryor behind. Knocks that one away. Carpenter to Fraser. Fraser misses the layup, but he gets his own rebound and lays it in, and that makes it 10-all.
Well, for certain, remembering how Glasgow started this season, some real improvements have happened in this team, because they're nothing at all looking here, what I'm seeing here tonight, like the team they were back in September.
Kai Williams turns down the shot. Jeremy Smith won't turn down the 3, and he knocks that 3 down from the pass from Kai Williams. I think it's a good point you make there as well about the Rocks, because all 3 of their American imports haven't changed, and there was a lot of talk early on the season when they were losing that they should change their imports, but Coach Darryl Wood stuck with them, and they've certainly come good in the last few weeks.
Well, it looks as though Pryor's clearly going to be the main handler of the ball, running the point. Carpenter working off the ball.
There's a nice shot from Kieran Achara, long 2 over Jamal Williams.
Yeah, but what about the step back technique? How often have we seen him doing that over the years, particularly from the corners?
He was leading by a single point courtesy of that Smith 3-pointer. It's Fletcher, he finds Kai Williams. Kai Williams into Defoe. It's a nice pass from Kai Williams. Darius Defoe just couldn't gather it. Not sure whether he was expecting it. It's a couple of times where Kai Williams has turned down shots which perhaps he would have taken it if he'd been in maybe a bit better form or a bit more confident. Obviously still trying to feel his way back into the team after an injury. Here's Pryor. He finds Fraser. Fraser does well to gather that one in. Nice ball movement by Glasgow. Kieran Achara with the three. And we know for a big man he shoots the three as well as anybody of his size.
Very dangerous from the three-point line.
And that's actually given Glasgow their first lead. And Darius Defoe tries to reply at the other end, but his shot is short, hits the front rim, and it's Glasgow back off and running. And since Eagles went 10-6 in front, Glasgow have come back really well, strongly here. Here's Achara. He finds Carpenter. Carpenter turning on Fletcher, and Fletcher's adjudged to have fouled him. Fletcher looks a little bit bemused, but Carpenter will go up the line to shoot two.
No, that there looks like it was a deliberate play, sending the bigger guard from the Rocks posting up Fletcher.
Kenny Carpenter, 67% free throw shooter. Glasgow got some good free throw shooters. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players at 80% and above. Carpenter actually at 66.7. He's one of the lower ones, but he's knocked the first one down.
Well, I mean, if it is a tactic, you know, you're looking at 6'5" Carpenter having a 6-inch, 7-inch advantage over Ramon Fletcher, so that might be something we see as the night goes on.
Carpenter
moving the ball around and trying to get a post up on Fletcher and down low.
Fletcher drives all the way to the basket in and halves that Glasgow lead. It was at 4, it's now back down to 2.
Well, they might want to take advantage of Fletcher's size at their offensive end, but they need to absolutely make sure they're going to tackle his penetrating ability at the other.
Great leap there by Jeremy Smith to deflect that pass that was intended for Kenny Carpenter. Jamal Williams going in, nice pass along the baseline to his brother Kai Williams, who made a great cut and laid it in for 2. And we're all tied at 17. So all the makings of a classic so far. We're only 6 minutes in the game. Here's Greg Pryor wide open for three-point range, can't make it. Kai Williams takes a comfortable rebound. The other end thinks about the three, doesn't shoot it. Gives it to Jamal Williams. He finds Fletcher. Fletcher drives into the paint, drops it off to Darius Defoe. But Darius Defoe can't make the shot. Chara came up with a rebound, gives it to Njai, and Njai bursting through the middle, but forgot to take the ball with him in the pass from Carpenter. Good pace to the game, good flow to the game.
Nothing separating the two teams after 6 minutes of play.
Yeah. 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. There's Jeremy Smith. Gives it to Fletcher. Darius Defoe comes to set the pick. Fletcher has the ball knocked away, but it actually dropped to Kai Williams, who was open in the corner, but he can't make the three. Rocks get the ball away very quickly. Here's Carpenter. He knocks it back to Njai. Njai for 3. That's dropped in as well. Rocks lead by 3 at 20-17.
So if I read your program notes somewhere, Njai's Austrian, very good pickup of what I've seen so far.
Smith, Defoe for 2. Darius Defoe in the groove early as well. Yeah, Njai's actually Norwegian, Dave.
Norwegian, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Just realised what he said there. But it's still, as you say, a very good pickup when you pick up a European player that can play in this league and start. It's always a good pickup. That's a foul on Jeremy Smith. The Eagles making the first changes of the night. Kai Williams and Jeremy Smith taking a seat, and Drew Lasker and Kyle Williams coming on. Very much like Fab Fanoy was the man who made those changes as well. It's lobbed into Fraser, bursts through the middle of the Eagles defence and lays it in for 2. Very strong, powerful man going to the basket is Ali Fraser. Just demonstrated that really well there. He has Lasker at the other end. Gives it back to Fletcher. Fletcher trying to sort out a play. Gives it inside to Kyle Williams. Fraser's come over the back of Defoe and fouled Defoe, and that's his second foul. And I think that means it'll be an early seat for Ali Fraser. And Greg Pire's also going out, and Tadis Rinkunis and Kieran O'Chara's coming back on. And Kieran had gone off for a rest, but with Fraser picking up that second foul, he's having to come back very quickly. It's going to be another foul inside. This foul's going to be on number 7, Rinkunis. That's his first.
Yeah. I think one thing Coach Darrell would have been concerned about is how easy Defoe's getting into the middle of their defence, whether they're in the zone, they sometimes switch to, whether it's man-to-man. And Rinkunis just grabbed hold of him then. One way to stop a guy, and we only get a
Noy on the sidelines, but nothing given. Rocks come up with the ball. Here's Rinkunis, and that's going to be a foul on Fletcher, who accepts it straight away, as he was certainly more accepting of it than Flanoy was, who shook his head and turned away in disgust at the sidelines. It's Cartman that turns the corner against Jamal Williams, trying to find a way inside. Gives it to Bo Ziegler. Bo Ziegler can't make it. Bo Ziegler's first, and that's going to be another foul on the Eagles. I think that foul's on Drew Lasker.
Well, I'm going to be interested in points in the paint as far as the Rocks are concerned, and also the attempts in the paint as well, because they seem to be making an absolute priority of banging that ball inside.
Fletcher picking up that second foul has gone to the bench, and Fab Flanoy, after quite a few weeks out, is out there in the first quarter to replace him. Kieran O'Chara, one of the BBL's best ever free throw shooters, knocks the first one down. Shooting at 83% this season, makes both of those, pushes the Rocks lead to 5 points, biggest lead of the game so far. They lead 24-19 with 2:13 to go. Kenny Carpenter takes a seat, and Bruno and Johnny Bunyan comes on.
I was going to say, that was interesting. Johnny Bunyan's come on and two players are wanting to go off. And in the end, it was Carpenter who was sent to the bench.
Early minutes for Johnny Bunyan, not a man that Darrell Woods used an awful lot in the last few games, but getting on it very early here. He has Jamal Williams, turnaround jumper for two, makes that. That's a nice play by Jamal Williams at this end.
Oh, really smooth move, wasn't it? He started out with his back to the basket, a lovely big hop to turn his feet, and a nice stroke.
Oh, wow. Sort of a nice stroke. What about that one from Rinkunis in the corner? Found really well by Bruno Njai, and under a lot of pressure, knocked down the three. Typical Lithuanian effort.
Well, absolutely. When you see a name with bracket Lithuanian after it, you're always known as good fundamentals and usually very good shooters, particularly from three-point range.
Yeah, he is a 41% shooter from three-point range, and he certainly knocked that one down. And it's a turnover at the other end as well for Glasgow, so Ziegler will go all the way to the basket, but throws a bad shot up. Darius Defoe finds Drew Lasker out on the break. He comes back to Kyle Williams. Eagles settle it down a little bit. Kyle Williams puts up a three, and he knocks his three-point shot down. He's another one who can knock the three-point down.
Yeah, I mean, our job's to commentate on what we see on the night, but obviously these two teams have prepared well during the week. But I'll tell you what, I think Fab Flanoy's worked out that Ziegler simply can't shoot because he got totally laid off him in that last offense.
And he did on that one as well there, Dave, as well.
Yeah.
Really good spot there, and he's done it again. Like, yeah, he knows that Ziegler's going to try and come inside, and this time gets into the paint.
Well, there's one thing to not guard him when he's outside, but you certainly got to pick him up when he gets inside. Looking at that little baby hook shot he did there. Nice turnaround move. Inside
the last minute, and Rocks lead 29-24. Eddie Matthews come on as well now for the Eagles in place of Jamal Williams. Eddie will go for the long three. Just hits the front of the rim, drops down, and Njai picks it up. He can push it forward for Rocks. Slight differential in the game clock and shot clock. 5 seconds. 12 on the shot clock. 10. Njai turns the corner against Drew Lasker and gets right into the paint. Just doesn't quite lay it in. And Darius Defoe and Kieran O'Chara, that's been a battle over the years. And Darius Defoe wins that one by bouncing the ball off Kieran O'Chara's leg. 8.3 seconds left in the quarter. Eagles ball at the end line. Chance to get that last shot of the quarter off. Flournoy drops it into Kyle Williams. He brings it a little bit slowly, I thought, up the court, but he's going to go all the way himself. And he's fouled by Ziegler. Pretty silly foul, really, Dave, and 1.6 to go.
You could argue it was a silly foul, but it hasn't put them into the penalty. I mean, it was a silly foul, but it hasn't put them into the penalty, and maybe that was what was in Ziegler's mind. He thought he took one for the team. I don't think there's any doubt at all about where Jeremy Smith intended to go.
Lasker into Kyle Williams.
Kyle Williams.
Kyle Williams tries to shoot three from the corner. It's no good.
Pass from Williams to Williams, because Williams was playing baseline and not one player on the Rocks zone picked him up.
He's Bunyan with the ball duties. He gives it to Chara. He's faced by Defoe. Finds Greg Pryor outside. Pryor comes back to Kieran Chara. Pryor into Ziegler. Ziegler very athletic, very moving. There's a great pass inside the ring. Kunis, who beats Kyle Williams to the basket.
Yeah.
Lays it in for two.
Beat Kyle Williams. He completely went to sleep. He watched the ball, the whole of that defense, had no idea where Rinkunas was.
It's certainly the one point of the game where Eagles are really trying to work with Kyle Williams as his defense. We know he can score the ball. He's been doing really well recently. As Lasker tries to turn the corner, he's bumped by Greg Pryor.
Seems as though the preferred role for Kieran Achara seems to be getting him into that high post area, and it's not quite the same when he gets the ball and he doesn't have Ali Fraser on the floor.
Last guy inbounds to Defoe. Defoe turns immediately, shoots, doesn't make it. Then Kunis takes an easy rebound and Bunyan pushes the floor at the other end.
Darius Defoe is going to hurt that defense if that's the way they play. All right, there is no communication at all when players make cuts against that defense.
And that's a fantastic play between Rinkunas and Ziegler, and this time it was Rinkunas who returned the favour that Ziegler had given before and laid it off for Ziegler, and Ziegler put it in for two, and Rocks suddenly lead by 9. Eagles very nearly turning that ball over. Lasker looking for a three. That's way off the backboard, picked up by Ziegler and Bunyan. I'm thinking if Rocks score here, wouldn't. Oh, wow, what a great pass as well from Kieran Achara and Greg Pryor. I was just going to say, and I think the Eagles will call a timeout.
I'm going to say, I was just about to say to you, Rinkunas and Ajay.
Worth a wait and goal if you can find a player like that. Really is.
Are you thinking when you say worth the wait and goal of that lovely gold uniform?
Well, I wasn't actually, but it's a good point.
Very smart, isn't it?
Well, it is, yes. It is very, we used to wear a light blue kit for their away kit, but I think I prefer this one. It is a very smart kit indeed. Maybe it's just the mentality as well. Wear a gold kit and it just makes you feel a bit better. I don't know. Here's Fletcher at the other end, back on the court for the Eagles. He gives it to Flournoy. Flournoy tries to find Lasker, but Ziegler was aware to that. He got his hands to it and he gives it to Pryor, who finds Bunyan. So we've got Pryor and Bunyan on at the moment. So Pryor's moved to the shooting guard spot. Bunyan playing the point. Pryor into Ziegler. Ziegler, nice turn, great pass to Rinkunas, but good defense by Darius Defoe though.
It was good defense, and that rescued a situation where Fletcher again was fronting a much bigger player that almost led to their basket. Fletcher
goes for three, doesn't make it. Great offensive rebound taken by Fab Flournoy. Ball was knocked out of Flournoy's hands, but Darius Defoe picked up the loose ball, and as he went for the shot, he was fouled. Foul was Kieran Achara's first foul of the game. Darius Defoe will go up the line for 2 shots. Eagles really need to get some points on the board.
Yeah, no better way to do it than from the charity stripe, is there? I mean, you're going to pray for something like this when you're having a bit of a drought.
Defoe's first one takes him to 9 points. Misses the second one, and
it's going to see how Fletcher matches up it all. This looks like a bit of a 2-2-1 press. Yeah, it is. No, it's going back into a zone, or whether they're now going to pick up man-to-man.
Flournoy on Ziegler. Ziegler turns and lays it in with his left hand. Not sure what Flournoy's complaining about, really.
There was nothing to complain about.
Didn't look anything wrong at all.
Good execution.
Yeah.
I mean, Ziegler doesn't look good, great face in the basket, but he's certainly got a hook shot, hasn't he? Both hands.
Very athletic as well.
Yeah.
Fletcher to Smith. Smith turns inside. Trying to go baseline. Finds Lasker under the basket. And that's going to be a foul on Bo Ziegler. Yep. with a push. Good veteran play by Drew Lasker, though. Almost knew the foul was going to come from the rookie.
You know, you could argue one of the easiest places to defend on the court is the area around your basket under the baseline, but actually at the moment the Rocks are not defending that area particularly well at all. I mean, Smith was able to thread a pass right through on the baseline to an unmarked Drew Lasker, who was on the inside of his defender.
Lasker makes the first from the line. 7:10 to go in the half. Needs to make this one to get the Eagles back within 11. Hasn't made it, but Flanoy battles fantastically well for the offensive rebound, and it falls to Drew Lasker, who drives round and makes the layup for 2 points. That all came about from Fab Flanoy really contesting that rebound well and making the ball loose for Drew Lasker to pick up.
I'll tell you, when he's in shape, those 2 steps he takes when he's going for a layup are so quick and so difficult to stop.
10-point gap. Here's Ziegler. He finds Achara wide open, and the height advantage there between him and Jeremy Smith and Fab Flanoy evident as Achara lays it in for 2, puts the lead back to 12. Fletcher into Defoe. Defoe turnaround jump shot, doesn't make it.
You know what, Achara's bothering. That's the second time Darius has shot well short on an inside play. I think the presence of Achara is just intimidating a little bit.
Again, easy, too easy.
Are the Eagles going to call a timeout here? And if they are they going to talk about how is Achara getting that open inside?
Dropped that one, I think it was to Bo Ziegler, who knocked the 2 points down. It's Defoe going back to Fletcher. At the moment, Eagles not much answer. Fletcher's trying to turn the corner. He's almost having to do it all on his own here. He puts up the 3-point shot, which never looked like good anywhere near.
That was an attempt to draw the foul, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a clear attempt to draw the foul.
I'd agree with that, Dave. And at the other end, Pryor's gone past Flanoy. It's on the floor. Flanoy signal at the bench. I think he'll be going to the bench as the Williams brothers, Kai and Jamal, come back in. Flanoy goes out. Drew Lasker goes out. A little bit surprised that Drew Lasker's going out, but he has played about 7 or 8 minutes in a row there. 5:44 to go. Rocks up by 14, and we had a fantastic atmosphere in here last week, Dave, but it's a little bit flat at the moment, but it's up to the Eagles to raise the crowd, really.
Yeah,
produce something. There's Rinkunas for 3, doesn't waste much time, and that one's off. Kai Williams really should have taken that rebound, little bit slack, and Bo Ziegler came from behind and surprised him with it. Achara to Ziegler.
Achara absolutely wide open again. Nobody fronting him, nobody playing 3/4 round him. What a move.
Fantastic move there. Ziegler went for the dunk, missed it, and at the other end, Fletcher went virtually coast to coast, twisted inside, outside, and managed to make the bucket falling away. That just puts the Eagles back within 12, and Fletcher's now got it again, and he's going to go against Carpenter. Outside to Kai Williams. Jeremy Smith in the corner for 3. Knocked his second 3 down, and I think the Rocks will call a quick timeout here just to slow that down as the Eagles picked up 5 very quick points there.
Well, great. But I'll tell you what, he's developed a system that they're happy with, they understand, and they're playing with a lot of freedom, and they're playing with a lot of energy.
Here's Njai, turns the corner, drives in, up to the free throw line, doesn't make his 2-point shot. Jeremy Smith gets the rebound, he's going to go coast to coast. Doesn't make the shot though, good defense by Njai on him. Carpenter comes away with it. He tries to find Mo Ziegler inside, can't quite make it. But Rocks come up with a loose ball. Greg Pryor thought he might have tried a 3 there, but he drives instead. And I think it's going to be a foul on Jamal Williams as he tried to turn the corner.
Tell you what, Pryor's pretty tough with the ball.
Actually, the foul's actually on Jeremy Smith. Eagles back to within 9.
Yeah, I like the way Pryor took that loose ball under control, really pounded it hard with his left hand, but what an acceleration he did on his first step to get past the defender and draw the foul.
Here's Njai. He finds Ziegler inside, but Ziegler can't get a hold of that one. Just bumbles it out of play, and it'll be Eagles ball at the end line.
There's times, aren't you, when you overpass. I mean, that little finger roll there, or little floater, was way easier than the pass to the guy cutting the basket with like 2 men on him.
As Fletcher brings the ball over. Finds Defoe inside. Defoe goes strong. This is going to be a foul. It could be second foul on Bo Ziegler. It is on the arm. As Darius Defoe tried to lay it in, so he'll go for 2 shots. Referee just explained Bo Ziegler put his arms straight up and the referee put his at an angle. And it's amazing the number of times that players put their arms straight up after the foul scored. Look, the arms are straight. It's a bit like in cricket, I think, when you get hit on the pad and suddenly your leg moves further outside the
I always
stump.
used to think when your arms go straight up and they are actually straight up, what more you can do to avoid the foul.
There's Defoe with the first one from the line again. Darius Defoe having another big game for the Eagles. It's his 5th and 6th trip to the free throw line. And he's 5 out of 6 from the free throw line.
Oh boy, was that 2 needed. Really welcome.
Cuts the gap to 7. Oh, and Fletcher almost got the great steal off there prior. Fraser is strong. Njai turns the corner, drives hard to the basket. Good defense by Darius Defoe and Kai Williams. And it's Jeremy Smith who comes away with it at the other end. Again, he went up and then flicked it back out as a pass. He's done that twice now. Is Fletcher going to drive hard? No, I thought Defoe was right behind him, but Kieran O'Chara spotted that one and rocks in transition. It's an easy bucket for Njai for 2.
He's having a good game.
Well, I think he's been
Bruno
a real.
Njai is having a good game.
I think he's been a real find for the Rocks this season.
Apologies for calling you Australian. Austrian.
There's Defoe again against Fraser. Fraser just stood tall. Made Darius Defoe shot very, very awkward. It didn't go in. Rocks with a chance to put a double figure on the board again with 3 minutes left in the half. Pryor out to Fraser, thought about the 2, said Njai goes for the long 3. That's well short. It's
also well defended as well. I think Kai Williams got out there, put real pressure on that shot.
It's Kai Williams, the other end. Jeremy Smith against Kenny Cartman. A nice turn. Nice turn around. That'll be an and 1. Good play by Jeremy Smith. He looks a little bit pumped there. Foul on Kenny Cartman, so he goes to the one. Goes to the the charity stripe for the extra 1.
I think your 2 players had a kind of a longer settling in period than others, shall we say. It's Jeremy Smith and Kyle Williams. But I'll tell you what, Kyle Williams played a big part in that win over Manchester, hitting some good shots. And this guy's quick. If you work out work, he gets isolated like that down low. He's very quick, a great spin move.
Yeah. Nixian 1. He's hit the double figures now with 11 points as well. And he tends to blow a bit hot and cold. 1 week he'll be fantastic, and the next week he's very ordinary. But tonight might be one of his nights. He's got 11 points so far.
That's a coaching situation, isn't it? Recognise when he's hot, get him out there. Recognise when he's not, take him off.
The Eagles are back within 6 points. No, nice play by Njai and a great cut by Bo Ziegler to the basket. Kenny Cartman had a laid in.
That was a really good execution there in terms of they understand dribble drive well. That player drove baseline and the guy cut right from the top of the key. Hardest place to guard when somebody's driving baseline.
Rocks lead back up to 8 as Fletcher looks for a 2. Doesn't make it. And Njai picks up the rebound. Got Carpenter going right. Fraser going into the centre. Charlotte on the trail. Oh, how on earth did Kenny Carpenter get so wide open? Eagles got a real stroke of luck there. Jeremy Smith completely went to sleep, and Kenny Carpenter missed a chippy really. And at the other end, Darius Defoe makes his 2, makes it even worse for the Rocks. As suddenly the Eagles are back within 6 at 46-40. Njai to Fraser. Fraser into O'Chara. O'Chara's fouled. I think he's fouled by 2 for 2 at the free throw line. So he's having a really, really efficient game at the moment. And he knocks down that free throw as well. Not just adds to his efficiency. Fletcher with a long bullet pass to Kai Williams. Here's Jeremy Smith. Oh, I'm not sure quite what he's playing. Fletcher though managed to retrieve the situation for the Eagles. Kai Williams for 3. In it goes. Fletcher acknowledges for the assist. That puts it to within 6. Eagles need Kai Williams to do that more often, I think. He's found like that. Here's Carpenter. Turns the corner into O'Chara. O'Chara, I think he was actually faked out there by Ramon Fletcher. Almost missed the chance, and here's Fletcher driving in hard. Chance to lays it in off the glass, and suddenly it's a 4-point game. inside the last minute. Roxley 49-45. Missed that one as well. Kai Williams comes up with a rebound. Fletcher pushing it hard. Eagles possibly looking to go two for one. He just misses the three-point shot. Kai Williams almost comes up with a rebound. And I think Kieran Achana says, let's run that clock down all the way. There's a very, very slight differential between the shot clock and the game clock. It's about just under 2 seconds. Rock's definitely going to run this down. 7, 6, 5, 4. Pryor's fouled by Fletcher, shooting the three. That's 3 fouls for Fletcher.
Just equally as well.
Fletcher starting the second half, and he receives the ball from Jamal Williams as we're underway in the second half here at the Eagles Community Arena. Fletcher finds Smith. Smith thinks about the three. Now he saw a gap and he's going to drive and turn. Gives it back to Defoe. Defoe knocks down the shot from the free throw line. 2 points to the Eagles. Cuts the gap to 5 points at 47-52. Always nice to get that first one down.
Yeah, and I like very much what Jeremy Smith did there. He's very good at penetrating to the basket. He's not always very good at making the best decision when he gets there. But he saw immediately there's 2 guys on him, and he great turnaround to find Darius. That was a really good assist for Jeremy.
Rock's moving the ball around. Rinkunas, who started this half. Well, that's a poor shot, fadeaway. Made some space for the shot, but it was a poor fadeaway shot. And back come the Eagles with Fletcher. The Eagles with a chance to cut the gap even more. Nice pass by Fletcher inside to Defoe, and Defoe makes yet another bucket.
Well, 4-0 the Eagles to start with. Darius Defoe 4, Rocks 0, and both of those have been really good finds. Darius for one cut into the basket and secondly trailing the play.
Cuts the gap to 3 points. Here's Carpenter driving in, and that's going to be a charge all day long. Jamal Williams stood firm. Easy call for the referee, Josh Bowe there.
I agree with you. It was an easy call. It shouldn't have been, but Jamal made that an easy call by just simply leaning over. Because I think the Glasgow player, frankly, had lost his balance, but it was made really easy for the referee.
Fletcher now bringing the ball forward. Eagles looking to cut in that lead even more. Williams comes out, sets the screen into Darius Defoe. Darius Defoe again. Oh, this time he's off. Alistair Fraser takes the rebound, gives it to Greg Pryor. Cross court to Rinkunas. Rinkunas turns the corner. Lovely pass inside to Fraser. But Fraser was well challenged by Jeremy Smith. Didn't make the first one, but he got the rebound and was able to finger roll that one in for 2. And moves the gap back to 5 points at 54-49. Yes, Fletcher thought about the three. Perhaps should have took the three. Jeremy Smith comes inside. Back out to Fletcher. This time Fletcher does take the three. And it spins in from distance.
That was way outside the NBA three-point line.
Interesting that he took the second one, because the first one he was a little bit closer. Fletcher doesn't get it off Achara. There's Pryor back to Achara. Achara drives the baseline into Kenny Carpenter. Kenny Carpenter lays it in. Bodies all over the place.
Yeah, but Jeff, how well do they cut to the basket from the top of the key when a guy goes baseline?
Great point, Dave. Here's Jamal Williams for 3. And that draws in as well. But Carpenter pushed the lead back up to 4 points. And Jamal Williams has cut that right back down to 1.
Well, we talked about last week about aspects of the game, not technically brilliant, but a great game to watch, and the crowd was absolutely fantastic. The atmosphere in here at the end of last week's game was fantastic. If these two teams are going to continue to play like they've done at the start of the third quarter, we're going to have an equally great atmosphere here tonight.
Yeah, certainly the atmosphere's cranked up a little bit from what it was in the first half, and obviously a lot of that down to the strong start the Eagles have made to this half. But here's Kieran Achara's going to the line again. He's drove to the basket. He was fouled by Jamal Williams as he tried to make the layup, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2 shots. Makes the first. Makes the second. Nice to see a big man who can shoot free throws. And he can shoot. He seems to make them look very easy.
He makes all shots look easy. Doesn't exactly follow the technique described by great shooting coaches, but boy, is he effective with the way he shoots.
Nice ball moving from the Eagles. Gets Fletcher free for three, but it just halfway down and back out.
Yeah, you'd love that to have dropped because that was great ball movement.
They worked the position really well, the Eagles, to get Fletcher free, but it didn't go down, and Rocks have come away with the rebound, and now Pryor with a little floater, that doesn't go.
Oh, now how was that?
Yeah, I think it came off Darius Defoe last year. I can see where you're coming from there. Yeah, Greg Pryor flicked it inside. It looked as if it was Kenny Carpenter, but I think it just hit Darius Defoe's arm as it went out.
Rocks played it really well not to stand on the baseline.
Yeah, he was really off balance, wasn't he, Greg Pryor? And there's a nice pass inside to Kieran Ochara, who's strong to the basket, but he can't make it. The Eagles on the break. Jeremy Smith and Ramon Fletcher. And Jeremy Smith's shot drops in, and it's back to a 1 point game again, 58-57. Rocks on the upside.
Eagles can get out and fill the lanes in transition like that. The Rocks are going to have problems. Ooh, don't think there's any doubt about that. It was an easy foul to call, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, easy foul to call, but I think he could have called it even earlier. It looked as if he fouled him almost as soon as he caught it, but he certainly caught him again as he went up. And that'll send Kieran Ochara to the line yet again.
A little bit of a worry. Darius is third.
Yep. Especially with no Victor Moses in there.
Well, it'll only encourage. I mean, that came from a high-low play again between Fraser and Ochara. The opposite way around to what we were seeing earlier on, with Fraser doing the feed from high and Ochara going low. Darius has now got to be careful. He's got to make some wise decisions on the next time that happens. What's the value of him trying to stop it against him staying on, especially with no Victor?
And that was actually Kieran Ochara made the first one, missed the second one. That's the first one the Rocks have missed tonight. Kieran Ochara now 5 of 6. There's Jamal Williams, tries another three. That one's well off. Ochara takes the rebound. Kenny Carpenter coming forward, goes past Jeremy Smith, kicks it out to Greg Pryor. Thought about the three, but Ali Fraser goes in hard. Good hands by Kai Williams, knocks the ball down. Rinkunis, Carpenter in the corner. Eagles playing really tough defense here. Carpenter has to put up the three, and that one misses, but Ramon Fletcher can't get the loose ball. But it's a good turnover by Darius Defoe, picks the ball up. Fletcher comes forward into Jeremy Smith, and one-handed. Yeah, it's going to be waved off. And it's a fourth foul on Ramon Fletcher.
I thought there was a marginal situation earlier on as well about Fletcher maybe picking up a defensive thing, but the referees decided let the play flow, but there was no question that was going to be called charge. None at all.
Fletcher drove into the basket, then laid it off to Jeremy Smith, who one-handed jammed it down. Spectacular play, but as Dave said, as Fletcher laid the ball off, he bowled into the Glasgow player, and it was a clear charge, and now Fletcher's on 4.
Fab's just pointed out, put 4 fingers up. This is where last week we're all impressed by the way Drew Lasker came off the bench in a similar situation and gave the Eagles real leadership.
Alistair Fraser misses the 3. Eagles just down by 2. Here's Fletcher. Highlight play. Fantastic play. There's a way for Fletcher to answer it. The alley-oop to Darius Defoe, who crashes it home and brings the whole of the arena to its feet. And that levels the game up as well at 59 all. He has Pryor at the other end. Twisting, turning. Rinkunis is wide open. He'll knock down the 3. Puts Glasgow back up by 3.
Well, this game's heating up, isn't it? One of the assists of the season, one of the highlight plays of the season. And then you got the other end, Rinkunis knocking down a 3. But the key thing about the last one is Guy drives on Fletcher, and Fletcher simply quickly got out of the way.
Yeah. It was a great way for Rinkunis to answer what had happened at the other end, because Fletcher was certainly hyped up after getting that fourth foul, and his pass to Darius Defoe was absolutely spectacular, and of course Defoe flushed it down with some style. Here's Smith going for 3, the other end. Oh, that one's in and out. No Eagles rebounders in there. Carpenter able to take an easy one, and with 4:35 to go in the third quarter, Rock's lead has been cut from 7 to 3. There's a big battle inside there between Jamal Williams, who probably couldn't play much better defense than that, but Fraser did really well.
He couldn't, and it seemed the harder Jamal played him, the more determined Fraser was to try and score on him.
Fraser knocks it down for 2, and the Rocks back up to a 5-point lead, weathered the storm a little bit, but he has Kai Williams from the corner for 3. That one's just off again, and once again, Darius Defoe the only Eagles anywhere near the rebound, but he can't get it. Greg Pryor comes back. Fraser tries to find Chara inside, but Darius had got back the full length of the court, gets a hand in there and stops Chara from bringing it in.
Some nice little things treated in the Eagles' offense there. That was a nice inside-out exchange that got Kai Williams wide open in the corner. It would worthy of him knocking that shot down.
Rocks from the end line. Pryor to Chara. Fraser back to Chara. Out to Rinkunis, into Cartman on the corner for three. That one's off, but what a fantastic rebound by Greg Pryor. An even better pass. Wow, what ball movement that was. That deserved a finish. Didn't get one, and Kai Williams comes up with a rebound from Greg Pryor's three, but that was fantastic ball movement by the Rocks.
Wow, the Rocks are putting on a bit of a clinic, passing the ball at the moment, passing and movement.
Oh, and there's a great pass on the other end from Kai Williams to Ramon Fletcher. Cuts fantastically well to the basket and lays it in with his left hand. Fletcher wanted the foul.
Fab wanted the foul.
Everybody, I think, wanted the foul.
I don't think anybody in the building would have given it.
And Kunis behind his back to Fraser.
Awesome cut.
What a great cut from Kenny Carton. That beautifully found by Alistair Fraser. We really are seeing some excellent basketball in the end out right now. There's Kai Williams coming forward. Jeremy Smith takes over. 5-point gap still to the Rocks. There's a high-low pass from Smith to Kai Williams. He can't make it. At the other end, Jeremy Smith, who threw that pass, made great ground to get back and deny Kunis the ball. Kai Williams in the corner and out to his brother Jamal. Can't knock the three down though.
It's just a pity about some of the finishing in this quarter, because the execution leading up to creating the shot has been really good.
The quarter's absolutely floating on. There's another one inside.
And Fletcher was lucky again.
Yeah. Greg Pryor went to the basket. Fletcher really did. Oh, that's Ron Fletcher over Alistair Fraser for two.
Somewhere along the line, the Eagles are going to have to start asking themselves, how is Pryor making those straight cuts and getting in front of his player all the time?
As Rinkunis turns the corner and floats one in for two. He's quietly efficient, isn't he, Rinkunis?
The Lithuanians call this a surprise shot. You look like you're driving the basket and suddenly you just calmly float it in.
Pryor almost picks Ramon Fletcher's pocket. Jamal Williams back to Ramon Fletcher for three, doesn't make it. Rinkunis takes the rebound. Rocks with a 5-point lead, 1:44 to go. Don't know where the time's gone in this third quarter, David.
Well, you know, I mean, and another thing as well is the first half we were talking about, and Jai this quarter in terms of impact outside the regular suspects, it's Rinkunis, isn't it?
And Jai hasn't even played, I don't think, in this quarter. Here's Fletcher for three at the other end. Down it goes again. Fletcher asking for a foul yet again.
Tell you what, Ramon Fletcher saying, hey, I want to get on foul falls every week if I can play like this. This is real trust from the Eagles in him, and it is rewarding him. He's having a great game on 4 fouls.
Yes, Fraser driving, turning, flicking it up, misses it. Darius DeFore takes the rebound. Eagles with a chance to level the game up. 68-66 it is to Glasgow. Fletcher driving in again. There's the flick. It didn't quite make it. Oh, the tip from Jeremy Smith didn't go either. Greg Pryor at the other end. Oh, that's going to be a block this time on Jamal Williams. Yeah. I think one or two of the Eagles fans don't think it was, but I thought it was a clear block.
Absolutely clear block.
Clear block all day.
Yeah, I think that Pryor was looking at some Euro step skills there, which caught Jamal out completely.
Ramon Fletcher, from, as you say, from almost from nowhere at half-time, suddenly has 16 points and 8 assists.
Yeah. Fletcher's played a huge part in that. Now what the Eagles need now is Drew to play just a bigger part here, showing the leadership at the end like he did last week. Because obviously Fletcher's got 1 foul still, so he's still a big part of this game. Last week, of course, he was gone.
Yeah. Lasker come on for Fletcher. There's a real battle down here between Fraser and Defoe. It's real big, tough, hard men. Jamal Williams pops up behind and flicks the ball free. Jeremy Smith at the other end. His shot's way short. Drew Lasker saves it. That's brilliant play from Drew Lasker. Gives it to Jamal Williams and back to Drew Lasker in the corner. And there's that leadership that you talked about. Absolutely fantastic play by Drew Lasker. And he puts the Eagles up by 1. And so we go inside the 10 seconds, and he's almost got a steal there. Yeah, and that's going to be a backcourt violation. Drew Lasker coming on, raising the roof, and here we go. Eagles back in front by a point.
Well, I'm glad you used that term, raising the roof. Impact from Drew Lasker, phenomenal, but here's the atmosphere we experienced last week. 6 man coming into this game in big time now with the Eagles crowd.
6.5 left in the quarter, and the Eagles with the ball. Oh, Greg Pryor picks that one up, but Jeremy Smith comes across. It's just, wow, this is why we love basketball for me, David. Eagles get all that momentum, the crowd up, and then an inbound, Greg Pryor comes up with a great play from the Rocks defensively. And now, with 3.9 seconds left, it's Rocks who've got a chance to take the lead. I've seen something on the court here, I think. One of those ducks. Chucked the duck from the third quarter.
Bit early, haven't they?
Chucked it a bit early.
We haven't even got the carpet out yet. I hope they chuck the ducks as well as these players are chucking the basketball.
He's not going to get this shot off. Absolutely not going to get the shot off.
Quality of everything, execution and so on, stepped up big time in the last quarter. Been all sorts of interesting things. Newcastle having to play with Fletcher on 4 fouls.
Ziegler gives it to Rinkunis. Rinkunis knocks down the 3. And Jeremy Smith fouled him in the act of shooting. Pretty hard foul from Jeremy Smith as he tried to get out and block the 3. But Rinkunis, under pressure, knocked the 3 down. Puts the Rocks up by 2. It's 71-69, and he'll go up the line to shoot the extra 1.
Yeah. And
just looking at the foul count board, nothing else has flashed other than the one off for Jamal Williams, which I think was actually an open play.
That will now change when the foul, I think, registered against Jeremy
Smith. Yeah. I think perhaps the table's still trying to catch up a little bit with it. Anyway, it's Rinkunis on the line.
They're flashing a foul on a Rocks player as well.
Yeah, they've put the 2 technicals up now. The one on Flanoy and the one on Carpenter, which has taken Kenny Carpenter on to 3 fouls. And that foul for Jeremy Smith was the 3rd foul. Rinkunis made the extra 1, and it's a 3-point. So that was a double technical foul, 1 on Flanoy, 1 on Carpenter. They have both been recorded. Then there was a foul by Jeremy Smith on Rinkunis' 3. He put the extra 1 away. Rocks lead by 3. And it's Lasker who comes away with the ball to Kyle Williams. Well, we haven't seen much for Kyle Williams, but there he goes. This is where he tends to come strong at the end.
Absolutely exploded into life.
And there's Rinkunis at the other end. He doesn't make it.
Bit too near to the basket for him, Jeff.
Bo Ziegler can't tidy it up. Here's Jamal Williams for 3. It's a long 3 from Jamal Williams. He knocks that one down, and the Eagles go up by 2 points. It's 74-72. Wow, this is some game now, Jeff.
The fans are really getting into it. That's impacting on the players. The players are responding, which is equally impacting again on the fans.
Ziegler manages to get inside, but he can't make the shot. Jamal Williams comes up big with the rebound. He gives it to Drew Lasker. Drew Lasker he's going to go all the way to the basket, and that's a foul by Greg Pryor. Drew Lasker go up the line to shoot 2. 8:33 to go, and Fletcher's still on the bench at the moment. But again, Lasker picking up that leadership, that thing that you mentioned, and he's done pretty much everything since he come on. He's going to go up the line to shoot 2. Usually pretty reliable, but by his standards, he's been low this season. It's just under 70%, but he's made that first one. That puts the Eagles up by 3. It's 75-72. Lasker makes a second, so suddenly the Eagles lead by 4. And I certainly think the situation between Fraser and Defoe is a long way from finish as well. Watching the 2 of them there battling in the paint already. There's Pryor coming up. Lasker all over him. Still all over him. Pryor gets it away to Fraser, and he's faced by Defoe. Tries to turn, gives it back to Pryor. He's got Smith on him. In the corner to Njai. Njai's 3 is short. Darius Defoe can't quite gather it in, and it just funnels the ball over the line, and that'll be Rock's ball at the end line.
Well, I have no argument at all about Darius and Fraser getting into each other as long as they keep the heads. Both playing tough, and that's what the game's all about. It's like when the guy stopped Drew Lasker on that wide open drive there. That's what courage is, taking one for the team.
Greg Pryor's gone to the bench and he's replaced by Kenny Carpenter, and when Kenny Carpenter walked on the court he was met by a massive chorus of boos from the Eagles fans, so it's quite obvious who they think the villain of the piece was.
Yeah, okay.
And referee's just talking to him there before giving him the ball at the end line just to calm him down a little bit. And it floats along past to Ndiaye. Ndiaye drives in, fade away two, doesn't make it. Alistair Fraser can't get the rebound in front of Darius Defoe. Here's Drew Lasker at the other end, scrambling away, but he decides to come back out. Good decision from Lasker. Just calm it down a little bit, just settle things down. Gives it to Kyle Williams. Kyle Williams looks to Jeremy Smith. Jeremy Smith comes out. So now telling Defoe to flash to the basket, but Jeremy Smith up high. Doesn't quite make it. And Rinkunis does well to come with the ball with Darius Defoe. Good defense by Defoe, just slows it up again. Here's Ndiaye. With Ziegler inside, Fraser picks that one up. Bumped by Jamal Williams once, twice. But you got to give this guy Fraser a lot of credit. He's really battling hard inside.
Terrific up and under move there. He pivoted one way, faked the defender up, went under him. Lovely move.
Gets the Rocks back to winning two with 7:10 to go in the game.
Well, there's one thing for certain, there's no daylight between Darius and Ali.
Kyle Williams tries to go through a gap.
Come on, you can't drive through a
and there's nice passing movement from the Rocks. And they're level now at 76. Just wondering when Kieran Achara is going to make his return to the game. At the moment he looks fairly comfortable on the bench. Ramon Fletcher's definitely coming back. He's on the subs bench. He's about to come on. Kyle Williams thought about the three. Will shoot the three. Doesn't make the three. Bo Ziegler picks it up.
I can only think he saw the shot clock ticking away, did he?
Probably did. Or the Ndiaye goes through the middle and he's fouled by... Is that Jeremy Smith? If it is, that's 4 on Jeremy Smith. And I think there's a timeout for the Eagles.
Number four's flashing, Jeff.
Yep.
4 on number 4.
4 on number 4. First one wipes his feet 2 or 3 times, but drops through the basket. Just pushes the Rocks back in front. Try with the second, that one's short. Ball's bounced up, and that's knocked down by Bo Ziegler, and it's an Eagles ball at the end sideline. Jamal Williams will inbound into Drew Lasker.
Yeah.
Ramon Fletcher's back on the court.
Yeah, but he don't notice Drew Lasker's immediately called for the triangle play and sent Fletcher away off the ball.
Yeah, I think the Eagles will try and keep Fletcher off
the ball. There is the high by cutting in on the triangle play.
Comes round, thinks about the three. He's going to drive all the way to the basket. Blocked by Kenny Carpenter, though.
That wasn't an ordinary block. That was a sensational block.
Well,
he blocked it and caught his own block.
In at the other end, a fantastic ball movement again. Fraser gave it to and Bo Ziegler, very athletic Bo Ziegler, and he looked like he was going to raise the roof with a dunk at that end, but he's fouled as he tried to dunk it. And
well, that was ball movement at the highest order because it was in transition. Everybody on the Rocks team there really filled the lanes well. And everybody knew where everybody was. And what a crucial pass into the trailing guy, cutting hard to the basket.
This is the lad, Bo Ziegler, who's actually shooting free throws at a lower percentage than Willie Clayton of Manchester. But he makes 1 of 2 there. Well, he's actually shooting 43%.
The thing about Ziegler is he's getting some good minutes tonight. He knows what he's good at and what he isn't.
There's Lasker. Kyle Williams. He's looking for Fletcher, gives it to Jamal Williams, round to Lasker. Nice ball moving from the Eagles, movement inside. Fletcher finds Defoe. Guess who he's facing up against? Yeah, Alistair Fraser. Gets it out to Kyle Williams for 3. That one's just off. Loose ball is picked up by Rinkunis. Yeah, Bros. Is that Kenny Carpenter gets in the lane, lays that one in. Rocks up by 4. Here's Defoe out to Jamal Williams. He gets Ziegler up in the air. His 3-point shot goes off. And
he did everything right there. Faked him out. Did a lovely step back move. Good executed shot, just didn't drop.
Ziegler gets the rebound. Rocks with a chance to go up by 6. Nice overhead pass by Rinkunis. Fraser can't make the 2-point shot though. Gets his hand to the ball to stop it going to Ramon Fletcher though, just to make up a little bit for it. Jeremy Smith, Kai Williams coming on for Kyle Williams and Jamal Williams. Too many Williamses. Commentators have been saying it all season long.
Well, it tells you how important Fab thinks Jeremy Smith is to this game. With still just under 5 minutes to play, he brought him on 4 fouls. Now he got 2 players on 4 fouls.
Kai Williams from the corner, doesn't quite go, but there's Lasker coming from nowhere to knock that ball back into the Eagles' hands. Fletcher's going to go at Rinkunis all day long and gets it in, and this time the foul is called, and Ramon Fletcher will go to the line for the extra shot.
Well, we were worrying about what was going to happen to Ramon Fletcher going back to half-time when we said he's carrying 3 fouls into the third quarter. He's playing like a man inspired.
Lays that one in for 2 points. Takes him up to 18, chance to go to 19. Take the Eagles to within 1. Oh, he misses the free throw. Fraser takes the rebound. Gives it to Njai. Njai cuts into the middle. Nice move by Njai.
Smooth, wasn't it? Smooth move.
So now he hangs his head, thinks that the Eagles defence should have closed that down, but
I agree.
But he moves, as you say, he moved very well.
Yeah.
Lasker getting free on Rinkunis. As Fletcher turned the corner, Fletcher thought about driving in on Ziegler, decided not to. Now he does. Twists and turns and lays it over Ziegler. Real veteran player there from Ramon Fletcher.
I mean, Ziegler's got a big height advantage, but there's no way you're going to defend that.
Rocks leading by 2. Here's Ziegler to Njai. Njai turns the corner. He's faced by Fletcher. Goes up for the 2-point, not short. But Alistair Fraser comes up with the rebound. He gives it back to Kenny Carpenter. Carpenter shaking and baking against Jeremy Smith, going hard to the basket. Lays it in. Smith couldn't foul him because he's on 4 fouls. Had to lay off just a little bit and Rocks up to 4 points, 84 to 80, 3:25 to go. This game really could just go either way at the moment, without any shadow of a doubt. Here's Lasker into Jeremy Smith. He's against Carpenter. Flashes hard to the round. Back out to Kai Williams for 3. Kai Williams for 3. Knocks it down again.
Everything was good about that play. The way Smith used his quickness onto his strong hand. Great kick out pass to Kai, who spotted up where the defender simply couldn't recover onto him.
Eagles only down by a point. Good defensive set by the Eagles here. Rinkunis trying to turn the corner. There's that Lithuanian surprise floater again.
What excellent execution we're getting at the moment.
Lead by 3, 83 to 86, and Kieran Achara's in the subs bench on the sub seat, waiting to come on. Interesting to see who he comes on for. Couple of little offences, just slowed it down a little bit. Fletcher, he manages to pick that one up, looked as if he'd lost it. Darius to 4. There's only 2 seconds on the shot clock. Kai Williams couldn't get the shot off. Good defensive stand by the Rocks. And Kieran Achara's been sent back to his seat. Actually, they've turned the substitution down. Drew Lasker goes off, gets a fantastic...
It would have been really hard there for Darryl Wood to figure out who to bring off, because this unit is playing really well together.
I think actually was some really good coaching there by Darryl Wood, because as soon as they made the stop, they sent Kieran Achara back to the bench and decided exactly what you said. I'm going to stick with these guys because they've just come up with a 24-second stop. Having said that, at the other end, Njai, that was a bit ambitious, that finger roll. Eagles with a chance to cut it. Fletcher goes wide. That ball was on the floor. Jamal Williams had to pick it up and shoot it quickly. Had to bring that ball up a long way. Kenny Carpenter now. So 3-point shot was short. Inside the last 2 minutes. Carpenter gets the screen from Fraser. Fletcher though picks his pocket. Carpenter's able to recover. Shot clock down to 6. He throws it straight to Darius DeFore. He gives it to Fletcher, who gives it back to Darius DeFore. But Darius DeFore can't make the layup. But a late whistle. I think it was a right whistle. It just was very late. Had it not been the right whistle, I think we would have seen a lot more.
Well, I've seen
opposition.
that given, I've seen it not given. I mean, I'm not sure about that one.
Well, I think the way I look at it is I wasn't sure myself, but when you look at the Rocks bench, they took that very calmly. And I think if they had felt it wasn't a foul, I think there would have been a lot more probably dissent from the crowd. So 1:30 left to go. Darius Defoe on the line to shoot 2. He gets these. The Eagles will move back within a point. Gets the first, so they'll definitely be back within 2.
I mean, again, it was really good decision making by the Eagles to actually find the right man who was in the best position to create a score.
Darius Defoe 7 of 8 from the line, 21 points personal. Eagles within a point at 85-86. 1:20 to go. Rocks on the offense. Carpenter has the ball stolen by Jeremy Smith, who gives it to Kai Williams, who's away in transition, lays it in for 2. That puts the Eagles up by a point. 1:10 to go. And there's going to be an offensive foul on Alistair Fraser. And that's his 4th foul. And as soon as that whistle went, Ramon Fletcher started signalling almost in sort of celebration, because he knew that was going to be an offensive call on Alistair Fraser. 67 seconds, 1 minute 7 seconds. Eagles lead 87-86. Jamal Williams inbounds to Ramon Fletcher. Ramon Fletcher brings the ball up. Goes over the halfway line now. Darius Defoe comes to make a screen for him at the top of the key. Fletcher just settles back. 12 seconds on the shot clock. I think he's going to go one-on-one here. Greg Pryor looking. Yep, he goes all the way. Floats it in and then in off the glass. Kisses it in off the glass. And there's a timeout from the Rocks. And Ramon Fletcher looks at the Rocks bench and said, you can try and...
4 fouls, so none to give. The Eagles got 1 to give. Eagles got 2 timeouts. Rocks 1.
Rocks advanced the ball, so they had only 14 seconds for the shot clock. Kieran Achara with a 3, that's short. Ramon Fletcher almost got the rebound.
I think the Eagles might be pointing to their ball, but I'm pretty sure that came off Fletcher.
Yeah, it came off Fletcher. So 8 seconds off the clock.
So with 36 seconds to go, I don't think Darrell Wood will want to take another timeout there. He'll want to see how this play can go. So 14 seconds on the clock. Eagles got 1 to give. Can't be given by Fletcher.
Or Smith is Pryor to Rinkunis for 3.
Unbelievable.
Rinkunis knocks down the 3, and it's 89-89. 29.3 left on the clock. The difference between the game clock and shot clock is 4 seconds. I think Fletcher's going to hold and try and get that last shot for the Eagles, or to give Rocks very little time left on the clock.
No fouls to give.
Oh, Jamal Williams almost lost the ball. Fletcher spins and turns, he can't make it. 1 second left on the shot clock.
I thought Fraser been on? Yeah. Okay, anyway.
We're underway, and it's Greg Pryor who gets the ball inside to Njai. He finds Bo Ziegler under the basket, but Bo Ziegler misses his layup. Darius Defoe takes the rebound. And it's at the other end, it's Jamal Williams driving hard to the basket, and he lays it in left-handed over Kieran Achara, and the Eagles go up by 2 at 91-89.
You can look back on all the things that have been indicated about Jamal Williams. There's one thing I'll tell you what, he's a clever player when he wants to be.
Big heart as well, I think, Dave, for me. Just gets on with it, does the best he can. He has Rinkunis at the other end, faced by Kai Williams, step back 3. He's missed that one, but it's a huge rebound taken by Kieran Achara. Great offensive rebound by Kieran Achara. That's his 10th rebound of the game. Gives him a double-double, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. And he's 6 or 7 from the line so far tonight. And as I said before, an 83% free throw shooter. So Kieran Achara at the line with a chance to level the game. And that's Darius Defoe's 4th foul. So the Eagles have 3 players on 4 fouls now. Smith, Fletcher, and Defoe all on 4 fouls, and all out there on the court as well. Achara knocks the first one down.
And am I right in thinking it's only Carpenter on 4 fouls for them? Is that right?
Yeah, Carpenter's the only one on. Unusual for Kieran Achara to miss 2 free throws in the game, but that just makes it a 1-point game to the Eagles. 91-90. as we approach the first minute of the overtime period has now elapsed. Fletcher for three. That's off the front end, bounces over. Bo Ziegler gathers in the rebound and gives it to Greg Pryor. Comes forward. Ziegler sets a screen. Pryor tries to give him it back. Couldn't collect it.
Rocks had just completely lost the space in there.
Jeremy Smith in and out of the Rocks, but Puna and Jai knocked the ball free and Kieran Chara picks it up.
Well, so far after a minute and a half, defences are on top.
Rinkunas faced by Jamal Williams. He gets a great swat at the ball and gets it back to the Eagles. Jeremy Smith with a nice little step to the basket, but he doesn't lay it in, and Ramon Fletcher wasn't impressed at all.
No, because
he was wide open under the basket.
That's right, drop pass, it'd have been wide in.
Ziegler was also under the basket, but he didn't make it, and whoa, ball's getting back.
Wow, Jamal Williams is on the heck of the fifth overtime period.
Actually, what's really happening here is both defenses have really stepped up big style. Deflections, steals, balls knocked out of the hands.
Work rate, awesome.
Bo Ziegler to the bench. Alistair Fraser comes on. Rinkunas having a word with the referee, but Jamal Williams came up with 2 or 3 excellent stops. And all of a sudden we've had 2 minutes of the overtime period. And only 3 points scored. Kai Williams inbound to Darius Defoe. Gives it to Jeremy Smith, who turns the corner. He's going to shoot the 2. That's too long. Chara takes another rebound, gives it to Pryor, who gives it to Njai. He's faced by Jeremy Smith. He's going to turn and spin and try and go in, and he can't make it. Eagles stand for defense again.
Well,
this
that's interesting.
Fletcher comes away with it.
The ball's going straight to Njai. Movement, what great ball movement. Oh, Jeremy, you had a wide open one there, but
he's made it.
Delivered in the end.
I think he knows himself. He was a little bit lucky there because, as you say, Eagles worked the position and he was wide open, but he decided to go inside the paint, but he managed to lay it in, and suddenly the Eagles are up by 3 at 93 to 90. Rinkunas and Fletcher clashed there. Nothing called. Rinkunas back out to Chara for 3. That's short. Oh, Rock somehow saved it, and Jai got the first hand into it, but a fantastic save by Greg Pryor.
Awesome last quarter.
Pryor drives in, but
and so is Jamal
Williams comes up with yet another steal. Darius Defoe bursts out between Chara and Fraser and gets over halfway, and a foul by Greg Pryor.
Well, Greg got a bit over-enthusiastic there. He had played good D, and he had shown terrific commitment to try and get the Rocks to win this game. That was just a little bit overzealous because Darius was going nowhere. He was not going to create any problems from that position, and now he's put him at the line. I think Darius is shooting a really good percent tonight from the line.
7 of 8.
Wow. 21
points. At 8 and 9, 22 points. Also got 10 rebounds, so another big double-double from Darius Defoe. If he makes this, he'll also give the Eagles a 5-point lead with 1:50 to go. Knocks it down.
So 9 for 10 from the free throw line.
9 for 10 from the free throw line. 43 minutes he's played as well, Dave. He's played almost every minute. Yes, and Jai gives it to Fraser inside. Fraser faced by Defoe. Defoe and Williams. This time it's a foul by Jamal Williams. Fouls on Jamal Williams. Darius Defoe was a little bit concerned there that he thought Fraser was hooking.
Well, I think in the scheme of things, with Fraser being such a good finisher around the ring, that was a good play to do. I think in his own mind he had the idea he would get Darius fouled out, but Jamal was quick to go over and help him out.
Ali Fraser makes both from the line. Takes 3-point game. Eagles 95 to 92. Darius Defoe. Three Rocks on him, somehow gets the ball to Fletcher, who somehow saves it. Jamal Williams into Jeremy Smith. Jeremy Smith, it didn't go in, but he's got his own offensive rebound. And again, Kieran Chara can't make it, but the tip-ins by Kai Williams. And that takes it back to a 5-point game. Jeremy Smith did remarkably well to get the offensive rebound in front of Kieran Chara.
Well, what a huge tip-in.
Kai Williams it was who came up with that tip in. What a game this has been.
Yeah.
Rinkuna's back to Achara. Rocks just... Eagles playing some fantastic defence. Here's Rinkunas for three. Oh, he's been counted. That's a foul by Jamal Williams. And Rinkunas as he shoots the three. Fenoy banging his hand against his head, is it to say?
Yeah, because I think Kai did a tremendous job there on Rinkunas.
Jamal Williams joins the four foulers. 1:09 to go. No pressure on Rinkunas with these three free throws there. Rinkunas having a season game. First one's in. That one rolled around.
Rolled home.
Shooter's roll with it. Not a hometown roll, a shooter's roll. Darius Defoe waving the crowd, trying to get the noise up. Rinkunas. Oh, he misses the third one. Darius Defoe was up there for the rebound. And there's a foul by Alistair Fraser. Or is it on Njai? Yeah, it's on Njai. And I think that'll be two shots to Darius Defoe. So Rinkunas couldn't make all three.
I'll tell you what, Daryl Wood's unhappy about that call. I'll go right along with him. I thought those two did a really good double team job down. I think that was a jump ball. I really, really think that was a bad call.
And that's what Daryl Wood's certainly complaining about. And
yeah, they trapped him, they kept him there, and I don't think anybody laid a finger on him. And certainly not enough to create a call at this time of the game.
So 1:06 to go, and Darius Defoe with a chance to put the Eagles back up by 5. Makes the first one. That makes him 10 of 11 tonight.
They go on to win this tonight. He's been huge from the free-throw line at critical times.
He's got 11 rebounds, 25 points, 11 of 12 from the line. 1 minute to go, Eagles up by 5. Eagles defense has been magnificent in overtime. Fraser against Defoe, battling away. Defoe stands firm. Fraser doesn't make the layup, and who comes away with the rebound? Darius Defoe. Fletcher to Jamal Williams. Jeremy Smith goes up to try and, I think he was going to try and dunk that and put the emphasis on the end. I think Daryl Wood will be very, very close to getting a technical here. Yeah, he's going to be very, very close. Jeremy Smith will go to the round to shoot 2. Is that a timeout called by the Rocks? There's a timeout called by the Rocks.
No. It's been a pretty well officiated game.
Darius Defoe makes the free throw for the technical. That takes the Eagles to 100 points. Takes him to 26 points personally and 12 of 13 from the line. 12 rebounds. Massive game from Darius Defoe tonight. And Jeremy Smith with a chance to ice it with 2 more. Oh, misses the first one. But with 39.7 seconds left, 6 points down. Could it be 7? I think Eagles would like him to at least make this one. Makes that one. It's a 7-point Eagles lead. Rocks will come forward and be looking to shoot a 3, I think. Charles going to drive all the way to the basket. And once again, good defense by the Eagles. And Jai, he knocks down the 2-point shot. 26 seconds left. 101.96. And this time the Eagles, that's good ball movement by the Eagles. Fletcher gave it long to Kai Williams, who had already broken out. Darius Defoe to Fletcher. Fletcher's fouled by Rinkunas.
Well, I think, with 20-odd seconds to go, if the Rocks thought there were maybe still some glimmer of hope of winning this game, they had to foul straight away. Yeah. Fletcher will go up the line, and it was remarkable, really, when Ramon Fletcher picked up that 4th foul in the 3rd quarter, and he's just gone, really, he's led the team magnificently. Inspired him, didn't it?
Yeah. Picked up his 9 assists as well. That's his 23rd point. Make that 24 points. Are the Rocks going to push this? Yeah, they're not going to give it up. They're not going to give it up. Breyer turns the corner. Here's the floater, that's off. And Jai gets it. He's going to lay it in for two. The Eagles just let him. 4.2 seconds. It's going to be a foul, but Jeremy Smith gets free. Gets it to Darius Defoe. No, Jeremy Smith was fouled.